Hello, people. This is Carla from Rehan Allahwala's World of Connections. And I am here to speak to Allie O'Shea, who is a motivational speaker or inspirational speaker. She has written a book that I forgot the title already. And basically, she helps people find their way to themselves and find their way to abundance in all aspects of life. This show, like all of my shows, is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Allie, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Carla. It's lovely to be here. Hi, everyone. My name is Allie O'Shea. I'm an international law of attraction coach. I'm an author, a healer, an inspirational speaker, and I'm also a wealth coach.
Okay. Let's talk a little about your life. Where do you live now, Allie?
So I live in Ireland, so a little island all by itself in Europe.
And how long have you been living there?
Oh, well, pretty much all my life. I think, I did have a little bit of a break somewhere around my teens up into my 20s where I lived in London for 4 years. And I lived in Australia for a few months and I lived in Italy for a few months. But pretty much I've been living here most of my life.
So what did your parents do? Because you do an amazing thing that's very new or new to many people.
Right.
Tell me a little about your background, please.
So, I come from a small enough family. I've got 2 older sisters. I'm the baby of the family. My parents owned their own businesses for many years. My father had a fabric shop and a haberdashery shop, and my mother had an underwear shop. At other times, they had a hairdresser and a cafe and a ladies' boutique. So they were very sort of entrepreneurial for their generation, I guess.
Okay. And did you go to college or are you married now?
I'm married, yeah. I'm married to Paul, who I've been with for 28 years, and we have 2 children together, Joel and Ella, and they're 18 and 16. And I did go to college and I studied travel and tourism in college, which doesn't really relate to anything that I do now.
How did you get into travel and tourism?
Well, I was quite young when I left school. I was 17 going on 18 and I kind of wanted to be an air hostess. And so I decided I'd go and do travel and tourism because I was too young at the time. And when I actually finished the course and got my diploma, I realized I was actually too short to become an air hostess. I was only 5'2".
Why didn't you become an air hostess?
Why didn't I?
I don't understand why you were too short to become an air hostess.
Because you have to be told to be able to close the cabin where the luggage goes.
Oh.
Yeah.
But someone else who was taller could have done that.
I don't know. It's just it was their rules at the time. I don't know.
That's strange. But in any case, how did you get into what you are doing now? Did it start at a young age in a way and then you just to do it?
I suppose I've always been interested in the spiritual aspects of life. I've always been interested in psychic people and mediumistic people with those types of abilities. My mother-in-law actually started taking me to mind, body, spirit shows here in Ireland, probably about 20 years ago or 25 years ago. And I became more interested. But my background is more, it's about the fact that I suffered over 25 years of severe depression and in my early 20s spent a month on suicide watch. And so I took myself out of all of that using the law of attraction, by learning it, by becoming a coach in it, by investing in myself and doing lots of courses, listening to many different spiritual leaders, reading lots of books, all of those types of things. And I took myself out of that depression doing that. And it's just an honor to sort of teach it to people all around the planet now.
Where did you become familiar with the law of attraction?
So most people will probably have started off in the same place that I did, watching The Secret book or The Secret movie, or reading the Secret book by Rhonda Byrne. It's where I probably first became interested in learning how to utilize it to my advantage to create what I wanted to create in my life.
And what did you want to create?
Well, just anything that I wanted. So I learned the skill of how to manifest. We manifest every day in our lives. We've manifested everything in our lives up until this point. But it's about manifesting by, not by default, but, you know, manifesting what it is exactly that you want. So learning to manifest the things that you want into your life.
Okay. For people who may not understand what's meant by manifesting, can you please define it?
Yeah, so it's basically when you acquire something, whether that's, you know, maybe you're looking for a new car and you want to have that in your driveway. When you start to think about that and you start to take inspired action towards the steps of getting that car, once it's in your driveway, then you've manifested it, basically. So, you know, like I've manifested the orchid behind me, the picture behind me, the clothes I'm wearing, meeting you, even you manifested me and I manifested you into each other's lives. So it's that's what it means, basically.
Okay. To help people understand it more, and that's all I'm trying to get to. The word manifest, can you define that?
It's basically having a thought about something that you wish to acquire and then it appearing in your life. Does that make sense?
Okay. Many people want to acquire many things and they say, I want a car, I want peace, I want so many things. I believe what we think is what we get.
Yeah.
But let's help these people understand what is meant by this. You know, let's see if there's any way we can make it a little more concrete.
Okay, so what you've touched on there, of course, is absolutely 100% true. What we think about, we bring about in our lives. Whatever we're putting out into the universe, what our thoughts are, but not only our thoughts, but also the emotion behind the thought, how you feel about that particular thing. We're putting a signal out into the universe and attracting back to us similar things. The things that we think about and the things that we want. So the more emotion we can put behind it, and also the more belief that we can have those things, the faster the things will come to us.
So, okay. I know there's certain things that I want that I've been struggling with, and I want that struggle to stop. And sometimes I think by wanting the struggle to stop, I am keeping it from stopping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's called resistance.
Okay. Can you explain resistance in a manner that people will understand what it's meant?
Sure. So when you're trying to acquire something in your life that you really want, there's two ends of the stick to that thing that you want. So there's the lack of the thing that you want, say, let's call it money. And then there's, the other end of the stick where you want that thing and it's abundant. And what happens quite often when we're trying to manifest things, a lot of people out there, struggle with money and abundance and prosperity and all of that. But while they're saying things like, I don't have enough money, I never have enough money, money doesn't grow on trees, my parents weren't rich, so I'll never be rich. They come out with all of these things that go against the opposite of what they actually think they're saying to the universe and everything. So instead, they're focused on the lack of it rather than the abundance that's out there.
Okay, so how can we help people begin to think of the abundance? Because obviously there's enough of everything for everyone.
That's true.
It gets lost.
Yeah. So there is a huge amount of abundance in the universe. And the way that is a really good way to look at it is to actually take, say, for example, money out of the equation altogether. Start to focus on the abundance all around you. Focus on the abundance that's already in your life. Go and look in your closet, see how many pairs of shoes you have, for example, all the ladies. Have a look outside at the trees and all the abundance of leaves in the blades of grass that you see surrounding you. The amount of raindrops that fall from the sky. When we focus on other things, abundance-wise, aside from money, we can start to bring in more to our lives that way. And also to expect it to come. Once we ask for something, it's always given. But it's when we're putting up that resistance, like what you were saying, is when we put blocks on our physical trail, and then the money can't come to us, or the abundance can't come to us in that way, because we're resisting it almost by saying, I never have enough money, it can't come to me, I'll never have enough, etc., etc.
Okay. I'm doing this for as much for me as I'm doing it for you and the audience. When we're talking about shifting our awareness, how do we do it? How does one say, okay, all my life I've heard I can't do this, or I can't earn money, or I can't whatever. And actually I coach people in speaking English, and I often hear said, I can't speak English. And they say it beautifully, and they're speaking for a long time. And I say to them, can you or can you not take not out of your vocabulary? How do we help someone learn or change that mindset?
Well, it touches on basically, Carla, what you and I spoke about briefly before you began the show on here, and that is to do with limiting beliefs that people have. So they're called limiting self-beliefs. So when we're children up until about the age of 5 or 6, our brains are in a thing called theta mode, where you're absorbing things like a sponge. So you're absorbing information from your parents, your siblings, your peers, your teachers, the church, the television. And what happens is these ideas that they all have become ingrained in your brain while it's in theta mode. And you take these on as your beliefs. So perhaps your parents said, you're not good enough, you'll never go anywhere, or we don't have enough money, so you'll never have enough money, or whatever their beliefs were, you take them on as your own beliefs. And these can block us as we move forward in life because they're beliefs that no longer serve us. However, if you think about it, a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking, and your thoughts can be changed. So it's about working on yourself, doing some deep inner work, writing out affirmations that you believe, say, for example, around money. So if you've heard those types of things, money doesn't grow on trees, money is evil, anyone who has money is corrupt, any of these types of things that you have that you actually believe, write them all down and then flip the script and write a different affirmation, the total opposite of what you have written, and start to use those. You can even speak them into a recorder and listen to them at night while you're going to sleep so that your subconscious mind will pick them up.
Well, I have been listening to your video, I Am.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it in the morning. From what you have said, it seems like it would be good to do it at night also.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, it's good to do it at any time, because that is it's redirecting your thoughts so that they become your new beliefs. And when you're going to sleep, your subconscious mind, it's more able to absorb things. But it's great to do it in the morning as well, so there's no problem with that. But it does take between 21 and 30 days at least to reprogram your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind runs 95% of your life, and your conscious mind only runs 5%. So when you are reprogramming, the reason it takes 21 to 30 days is because it's a bit like, changing a habit, and it takes that long for it to stick, if you like. In some cases, for some people with their beliefs or their limiting beliefs that they have that they're trying to change through using new positive affirmations, it can take a little bit longer in some cases, because it really depends on how ingrained those beliefs are inside each individual.
So, okay, I must have been ingrained with lack of finances. Now I am doing I've been working on my mindset now clearly for really desperately. I don't want to say desperately, but very clearly for the past year. And although I see small growth, it's like I shoot up and I come down. Is that normal?
Sorry, I didn't understand the first part of your question. Did you say, is this to do with money?
Not only money, just changing my whole mindset to be
right.
See myself in a more positive light.
Yeah, well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you a copy of my book.
I love the idea. Talk about your book a little.
Because that's going to really help you. My book, it's called The Return to Me, 21 Days to Love Yourself, a Self-Love Journey. It's part journal, part book. So it means you've got to do the deep inner work. You've got to do the deep inner work. And until you go through all of that and you start looking at the questions and really feeling and finding the answers, it will really help you.
So what are some of the questions?
So, let me tell you the first one then. Okay, hold on. So we've got weekly tasks in the book, and then I've got a month weekly tasks and different things like that. So the first question is, what is your deepest and truest desire? And then it says, reflect on this question, really dig deep. It might take you a few days to ponder it. So you'd have to sit back and think, well, actually, what is it? And, it's about you as a person. It's not about you as a mother, for example, or a grandmother, or whatever the case may be. It's about you as yourself, what your deepest and truest desire is for you, that you would have wanted for your life. Another question is, if you could ask your soul anything, what burning question would you ask your soul? So it will help you a lot, I think, because when we return back to who we really are, that is at the core of every other relationship. If you think about it, every other relationship in your life is reflected back to you by how you feel about yourself. If you feel down and unworthy, you know, you're putting that out into the universe, and other people are feeling that vibration and reflecting it back to you. When you are feeling confident and worthy and feel good about yourself and have that high self-esteem for yourself, then you're putting that out into the universe, and it produces a whole different vibration that you're putting out there into the universe and getting reflected back to you in return.
Many people are afraid, you know, thoughts come in and come out of your mind. And in my mind, I kind of see thoughts as a river that flow in and out and go and surrounding our whole body. If this is true, and in order to be abundant, or in order to have all we want, how do we get out of those muddy, mucky thoughts and have more of the positive or the sunshine that's there? It seems like, you know, all of this is a part of our lives. And it's where we focus is where we end up living.
Yeah. So what I did and what I do, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, which I know we are, Carla, you will see me quite often posting positive affirmations, positive statements. Now, they're most likely not written by me. It doesn't matter. And I put them out every single day. And I've got a group called Positive Minds. I've got a group called Manifesting Mastery with Allie O'Shea. I've got loads of different groups. So I'll post all different ones in all the different places that I have on my social networks. And that's not just to help everybody else, but it also helps me, because when I'm reading these, you are you're reinforcing it in your own brain. So, you know, there's certain things like certain mantras that I would have that go on in my head all day long, you know, like things are always working out for me. The best is yet to come. These are all things that you can start to say in your head when you're starting to have negative thoughts that don't serve you. And it's about practice. It's about doing it over and over and over again and not forgetting to do it and just saying, oh, I need to flip that script. The minute you feel those negative thoughts creeping in, because they will, we have over 75,000 thoughts in a day. And most of those are from, not even from today, they're from the past and from other things that have gone on in our lives. So it's about, as soon as you feel those negative thoughts creeping in, to try to reach for the next best feeling thought. You know, put on some music, call a friend, go out, look at nature, you know, go and be in awe of the wonderment of the beauty of nature that surrounds us. Practice gratitude and appreciation for all the wonderful things that you already have in your life. Because most of us sitting here now, we will all have a roof over our head, most likely, clear running water, food in the fridge, clothes on our back. And we always have something to be grateful for. So that can really help as well with positivity and learning to flip the script, if you like.
I think I got it. I know I've had some issues in flipping the switch, but it's happening. And should our viewers understand that flipping the switch may not be an overnight thing, because we are stuck sort of in the negativity that we had learned or heard our whole life.
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, it takes practice. You know, it's something that you have to work at. and, you know, doing deep inner work on why you feel that way, or why you have that particular belief. And do you actually even believe that belief that you have anymore? Is it serving you, or is it blocking you on the path that you wish to go down for your journey of life? Or, you know, is it serving you?
And how does one decide whether it's serving or not serving?
So, okay, let's go back to the conversation about money, because I know everybody likes that one. If you have a belief, Carla, for example, where you believe that you're not worthy to earn enough money, or you believe that money doesn't grow on trees. Well, it actually does, because money's paper, right? Or, you know, all you really have to do is look at your bank account to tell whether or not the beliefs that you have surrounding money are good or bad for you. You know, if you're feeling unworthy, for example, if you feel that you're not good enough, do you have the job that you desire? And if you did more work on yourself, would you have the job that you desire? If you started to change those beliefs about yourself, you could change so much.
True. It's interesting, because I think, although I'm saying that thoughts are like a river going through and around us, at the same time, we are so stuck in the negativity at times that we can't break through to see the positivity. Is there a way to help someone make that breakthrough?
You broke up a little bit. Sorry, what was the last part?
Is there a way that we could help another individual make that breakthrough from negativity to positivity?
It really, I firmly believe that it is something that they have to work at. You know, it's not something, like you said, that it doesn't come overnight necessarily. And we are going to have those negative thoughts creep in from time to time. That's normal, because we're human, and, you know, we go through a lot of contrast in our lives. So we have a lot of variety in our lives, a variety of different things, and we'll have ups and we'll have downs. But that's there to serve the purpose of knowing what it is that we actually do want, because only when we know what we don't want, then we know what we do want. So it's about keeping practicing, catching it at that earlier subtle stage of the negative thought. You start to find it creep in. What happens is, it's the law of attraction in action. When you have a thought for something as little as 17 seconds, by the very powerful nature of the law of attraction, another thought exactly like that first thought will join it, until you reach just 68 seconds, where things start to gather together on the etheric realm. So when you have a negative thought, it's exactly the same thing. If you have a negative thought and you've been focusing on it, thinking about it in your head for as little as 17 seconds, another thought like it joins it. So the earlier subtle stages that you can get in there and say, no, I'm not going to go there, I'm going to think about something else, and you start to reach for that next best feeling thought, the better it will be, because otherwise you get into a spiral of like complete negativity, as you say.
And it's that negativity that keeps us from moving forward.
Exactly. It keeps you stuck in a rut. It keeps you in victim mindset mode. I often call it that, because what happens when you're focusing on all these negative things and more thoughts like it join it, you're then going around in a circle. And I call it victim mindset mode.
What do we do to help the youth realize you don't need to be in that negative mindset, because everything's going to change, and it will change for the better?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose with younger people, it's very difficult for them because they find it difficult to see time in advance. You know, for us adults, it's easier because our brain is more developed, we understand, and we can plan for things in a different way. So for younger people, you know that things will change as you move forward in life. And if you look for the better things in your life, the better things in life will come to you. If you start to expect them, expectation is a powerful thing, and expect the good and the positive things to come rather than the negative things, well, you're on your way, because having faith as well is really important to bring these things into your life.
So I need to let that sink in for a little while.
Sure.
Because I understand and I fully believe that it is our thoughts that create our universe.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm coming to the point that when I get a little negative or a little on the other side, I think, go back to the truth, where there is none of this. And I go back, and right away I get back to where I was, and I'm fine until the next time it happens.
Yeah. That's normal. I mean, it can happen because we go through so much contrast. You know, each and every day, like something might happen that might set you off in a different tangent, but it's about getting back to those basic principles.
I think I'm beginning to get it.
Good.
I think it's beginning to make sense, but I need to work on it because it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And I think we often think, oh, if it doesn't happen overnight, it's not going to happen. And that's not necessarily the truth.
No, and you know what? It does take motivation to keep doing it, but you have to want to do it. You have to want to make it, you know, your life better for yourself, or yourself a better person, or to understand who you really are. And so, you know, I gave a talk actually on my own Facebook page earlier today about motivation and the things that we can do to keep moving forward. You know, if you want a better life for yourself, you know, you will make the time to start to put in the work, to build yourself up, to have that confidence, to start to be more optimistic rather than pessimistic, to focus on the good and the positive things in your life, to practice the gratitude, to practice the appreciation, to send love out into the universe, to, you know, all of these things. And also, it's very important that you surround yourself with positive people. Because if you're surrounded by negative people, they're going to bring you right down, okay? So you become most like the top 5 people that you hang out with. So have a look at your circle and see who you're hanging out with.
That's very important. In fact, because of everything I'm doing now and how everything kind of merges together, I actually have said goodbye to many old friends.
Very important. And the thing is, you know, when you start to raise your vibration, people who are negative or on a lower vibration than you will actually quite often naturally fall away from you, because your vibration is higher, you know, you're on a different wavelength. Okay. So they will naturally start to fall away from you. But also, if you're finding yourself in negative company quite a lot with your friends or whoever it might be, it's okay to set boundaries. It's also really important to set boundaries. You know, maybe you don't want to see them as often as you did. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm not available this week. Because when you're in their company, they're bringing you down. They're making you feel negative. They're making you feel unworthy, or whatever the case may be. So it's really important that you learn to set boundaries. And I talk about that in my book as well.
Your book is full of a lot of tiny little gems.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to say that everyone should hear before we end this conversation?
Well, I can't see anyone right now or hear anyone, but I know there's people on here, Carla's audience and the Institute of Peace and different things. And just know that I guess that you, each and every one of you, are worthy of a spectacular life. We came here to enjoy the journey and really just enjoy being here on this amazing, incredible planet, and enjoy the journey. And remember that things are always working out for you, even when you think they're not.
And that's what I was just thinking, because no matter what's going on in our lives, everything is happening for us and not at us or against us.
Exactly. There's always a lesson or a blessing in there for us to either learn or to love to live by.
And with that, I want to thank you for taking some time to speak with me tonight.
Thank you so much.
And I hope we get to do it again sometime.
That would be lovely.
And I want to thank the Institute of Peace for sponsoring this conversation. And we are going to wave goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you.